eBay sellers, it's Suzanne. How is everybody doing? I wanted to make a video to put some things into perspective and help everybody stay on track and use this time wisely, because the world's crazy right now, but you can be the sane person and come out on top when this is over. So I've got some tips for you as far as being an eBay seller during this time, as well as some things to think about going forward. Okay, the first thing, whether you are part-time or full-time reselling on eBay, you are in the perfect position to work on your business. Everything is already set up. You probably have some death piles you can be working on, so it's go time. Just keep doing what you're already doing. If you're a part-time reseller who is now at home with extra time, great. Spend that on your eBay business. Get some things listed. Stay busy. The second great thing we have on our side right now is our business is 100% virtual. No human contact needed. So again, business as usual. Keep doing whatever you would normally be doing and moving forward with your business. You don't have to worry about coming in contact with other people. Now, if you are going outsourcing, I know in my area in Atlanta, the thrift stores are still open and they are having some amazing sales to get people in the door. And I have been going shopping, which is kind of outside of my strict rule of no shopping until everything is listed. But this is a huge opportunity right now because the stores are pretty empty and management is saying, let's do what we need to do to get people in the door. I feel perfectly safe. I've been shopping in thrift stores every week since 2003 when I started this business. So I've been around all kinds of germs and viruses and all kinds of stuff the whole time. So I'm okay with it. So if you're comfortable with that in your area and thrift stores are open, see if there's any special deals you can take advantage of and seize the opportunity. Okay, the next thing some sellers are concerned about is the economic impact on buyers. Meaning, okay, if people aren't working and their income is affected, they're not going to be able to go on eBay and buy my stuff. I'm not going to get any sales. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. And this whole snowball of panic is occurring based on what may be a false assumption. I started selling on eBay in 2003, so when 2008 rolled around, there was a recession, and I had been selling for 5 years, and I just kept trucking along, selling, and that was a booming year for me because during times of economic downturn, people are more careful with their money. They may buy used instead of new. They may be going on eBay to look for a deal on a new item rather than buying it from a retail store. So we're in the perfect position in times of economic downturn because we're selling on the world's largest marketplace and people are coming there to get deals. So you may actually see your sales improve. In addition to that, people are out of their normal routine. They don't know what to do right now. And if they are at home, they're bored because they're not used to being at home. And guess what? Shopping is a fun activity. So they've got all these mobile devices, they're on their computer anyway, and shopping is entertainment. So this is like during the holidays when people get bored between Christmas and New Year's and they go online to shop because it's fun. So there's going to be some of that happening. Another thing that's happening is people are looking for things to do. They may pick up a hobby that they don't normally have time to work on or start something new. I ran into one of my neighbors in the parking lot the other day, and she works for Emory Hospital Healthcare. She is in the office setting, so she doesn't deal with patients, but she's working at home now, and she is bored out of her mind. She says, I just check my email every 8 minutes and there's never anything there to do. She had just come back from Walmart and bought all this yarn and some knitting needles, and she says, I've always wanted to learn how to knit, so I'm going to do that. And I was kind of like, okay. But remember, you can always buy that online. You don't even have to leave your house. So I'm hearing that other sellers are seeing increased sales of things like sewing kits, cross-stitch kits, anything that's hobby related, board games, puzzles, anything that keeps you occupied. So if you have stuff like that laying around that's not listed, get it listed. Make sure you're sending out offers on everything that shows up in your send offer folder. And don't assume that nobody's going to be spending any money, because they do keep reporting on the news that 3/5 of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But that means 2/5 of them don't, and they have money to spend. The definition of essential items varies from person to person. So people are saying, oh, they're going to stop buying non-essential items. Well, what does that mean? Let's take, for example, somebody who's really into exercise and fitness. Right now, that's even more important to keep yourself healthy, and they need a new pair of jogging shoes or some exercise clothes or a jacket or whatever. That's essential to them. It may not be essential to someone who's sedentary and never exercises. So that's very subjective. An essential item means different things to different people. So don't assume that your items aren't going to sell because they're non-essential right now. The next thing I want to mention is that people are out of their routine, but they're all thinking about, what am I going to do when this is over? I can't wait to get back to doing whatever it is. So they may be buying whatever they need for that event that they are now going to be able to go to, or a trip that they had to postpone, or whatever it is. People are going to be looking past this to when things are back to normal again and planning what they're going to do. They can't wait to get back out into the world and go out to dinner again and do their hobbies and do whatever their normal routine was, and they're buying the things that they would need. I sold a pair of sandals yesterday for $80, and hey, that was essential to somebody, or they just had the money to buy it. So don't let these false assumptions bring your business to a screeching halt. Things are going to keep moving. The next concern is the post office. Sellers are worried that the post office is going to shut down next. Well, that is highly unlikely. Again, I draw on my experience through many years of being on this planet, and even after 9/11, the post office didn't shut down. Some of the ones in the area of the World Trade Center and in those affected areas had to shut down because it was so chaotic. But even with the anthrax scare and huge weather events, the post office usually is back up and running within a day or two. So that is the backbone of our business. I agree. If something happens with the post office, then that's going to be a problem. But I actually went to the post office yesterday and talked to the postmaster at my local post office that I have an ongoing relationship with. We talk all the time. And I said, hey, never a better time to be an online seller, right? She says, yeah, we got job security. Everybody's selling stuff like crazy. I can't believe it. It's bigger and better than ever. And I said, so y'all aren't planning on shutting down? And she says, no, the post office operates through rain, sleet, hail, snow, and germs. So we will be open. So I really don't think that's anything to be concerned about. And if you just look at the big picture of what is going on with online businesses right now, we're in the perfect position. Amazon announced they're hiring 100,000 additional workers to deal with this situation because Online sales are just through the roof. Also, other businesses they're reconfiguring right now. They are reorganizing and figuring out what can we do online? How can we keep going and still keep making money during this time when people aren't going out? For example, gyms are setting up live streams, so they're not having the exercise classes, but you can do it at home through a live stream on Facebook. My son was joking. He's like, yeah, Mom, it's like the prison workout. You just do whatever you have at home and just pick up heavy stuff and do push-ups, and people can still work out. One thing I would recommend if you are stressed out and need a little relaxation is this yoga channel that I have been doing for years. It's called Sarah Beth Yoga. And even if you have never done yoga in your life, she has stuff that's 10 minutes long up to an hour long. You can pick the length of what you want to do. There's yoga for stress, yoga for morning, yoga for evening, yoga for relaxation, all this different stuff. And it's just stretching, and it just feels really good, and it keeps you on an even keel. I try to do it every day in the morning, and I just love how it makes me feel, and it's good for you. So if you're looking for a new thing to do during these times of boredom, check that out. It's just a public service announcement because I love her channel and she's such a sweet girl. So something you can try, try some new things to reduce your stress. I will say that if you are a mom and your kids are at home and you're probably super stressed out, I can't imagine how that would be. The only thing I can compare it to is like Christmas vacation when everybody's home, or if we had a snow event and you can't leave your house and everybody's home and driving you crazy and in your way and you can't do your normal routine. It's really important to keep your stress level down. This will pass. Anyway, back to the online situation with the big picture of everything. Companies are reorganizing. They're figuring out how to keep going. And that's great news because the internet is just a wonderful tool that we have access to. And we can stay connected and not feel so isolated. Another thing that came up this week was my son just graduated from college in December, and his degree is in internet security. I forget the exact name of it, but he's been looking for that real job all this time, and now he's seeing all these companies that are hiring for online help desk stuff. Everything is becoming virtual. If it can possibly be done virtually, people are figuring out how to make that happen. So just saying all that to remind you that the internet is booming right now with sales. People are buying stuff, and we're in the perfect place to reap the benefits of that. Okay, now I'm going to give you 7 things to remember to help you stay positive and get through this tough time. The first thing is, the time is going to pass regardless of what you are doing. So be mindful of that. Use this time to your advantage to be productive. And really, you don't need to watch the news all day long. Once a day is great. You can catch up on what's happened. But you don't want to look back 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and kick yourself because you wasted all of this free time that you have been given to be productive. So whatever that means to you, just remember you can't get this time back, so use it wisely. The second thing is, remember that this is temporary. This is going to pass. Everything's going to get back to normal again. So just take a day at a time and keep reminding yourself this is temporary. The third thing to remember is focus on the now. I love this saying that says, if you're depressed, you are living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you are at peace, you're living in the now. So just focus on today. What can I do today? And maybe it's just getting through the day. If you've got a bunch of kids at home and it's just keeping everybody fed and clean and occupied and out of trouble, then that's a success. I remember those days of little kids at home, and when we lived on the mountain in Tennessee and we'd have ice and snowstorms and be stuck inside for a week. The snow was piled up so high you couldn't even get out and go anywhere. So I know it is very trying, and it really tries your patience. So just focus on today. If you can only list 5 items today, okay, then you did that. Don't get all caught up in what's going to happen next and where we're going to be next week and what's going to happen to me and, gloom and doom, because we don't know. All we know is what we have right now, today, and what the situation is, because it does kind of change by the hour. So you just have to, be like a tree and bend and go with it, and it's temporary and it will end at some point. The 4th thing is worry. I know it's hard for some of you out there to not worry, but worry is a thief of time and productivity, and it gets you nowhere. It's just exhausting. So you really have to flip your mindset from worrying about everything to action. What can I do now? What can I accomplish right now? Because when you are in an action mode, that is empowering. You are doing something, even if you just go for a walk for an hour and get outside, and that's a great thing. Get outside. That helps your attitude. Sitting around worrying does not move you forward, and it makes you feel like a victim. So find something empowering to do where you can take action and accomplish, even if it's just little things. That will help your attitude, and it will reduce your stress level. So try to stop worrying about all this, because you worrying is not going to change anything. Take care of yourself and try to do little actions that make you feel empowered about your situation. The 5th thing to remember is that a shift is taking place. I talked about this with online. Businesses are trying to figure out how to do things online or without human contact to keep going. Everything is shifting and reorganizing right now, so it feels very chaotic. But the next time something like this happens, this will all be figured out. Everybody can just snap into action and keep going. But we are in the process of a reorganization of societal norms right now, and that's why everybody doesn't know what to do. They just are doing all these crazy things because they don't know what to do. So it's temporary. Stay calm. Take it a day at a time, and realize that this is an adjustment period for everybody. We're all in this together. The 6th thing to think about is, when this is over, the economy is going to bounce back with a vengeance. If you look back at all times of economic downturn in history, they end and then the economy booms. After the Great Depression, in 2009, everything turned around again. After 9/11, things turned around again. So this is a pattern of hills and valleys. We're in the valley right now, but once everything gets back to normal, and people can resume their normal lives, and they will be feeling confident, and they will be feeling relieved, the economy is just going to boom. So put yourself in a position to seize that opportunity when it happens, which means get all your stuff listed, because when this comes back, people are going to be buying like crazy. The 7th thing I want you to think about is that the human species is resilient. We have survived on this planet for 200,000 years, and there's hills and valleys, and we're still here. We're going to survive this, and we're going to move on, and this will be a memory. I mean, hey, look what happened with Apollo 13.
I know what the problems are, Henry. This could be the worst disaster NASA's ever experienced.
With all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
We're going to figure this out, and it's going to be okay. Please comment below and let me know how you're doing. And everybody, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.